Hey all, it's Nim or Nimicry if you're feeling professional, and welcome to the YouTube video. Now today, we're gonna go over the White Mage and the changes that are gonna be happening in Endwalker for Final Fantasy XIV. Now, before we get started, if you happen to like me or the content I produce, go on and click subscribe and hit that notification bell, as it keeps you up to date with everything the channel does. Also, I genuinely appreciate it when people hit subscribe, as I'm a smaller YouTuber. I've got more than some, but a lot less than others, and it's always nice when people are like, yes. So, make the nice change, make the nice choice, click yes. In addition, right now you should see a list of names scrolling across the screen. Those are my patrons, those immortal heroes, those scholars, those purest noble souls, those people who I'm flattering too much. You can join them at patreon.com/Nimicry. But enough of the self-aggrandizement, let's talk about the White Mage. The White Mage. When it comes to Final Fantasy, you would be hard-pressed to find a more iconic healer. The White Mage has been in basically every game, and Final Fantasy XIV isn't any different. They pay homage to its earlier versions by the Warrior of Light minion, which can eventually display the White Mage in its traditional robe, having the red trim, white robe, and staff. Now, the article says, I think most players are pretty happy with the current state of White Mage as a straightforward and effective pure healer that can also lay down some decent damage. Now, I want to pause here. Look at me. You absolutely have to do damage as a healer, because by you doing damage, you shorten the fight. As you shorten the fight, you don't need to heal as much. Also, why are you just standing around when there's no healing that needs to be done? Aren't you bored? Cast something. I understand if your mana's low and you gotta recover. Okay, that's fine. Do that. Recover your MP. But as such, not much has changed outside of gaining new abilities as you approach the level 90 cap. You also want to mention one other thing. The minimum amount of health that you need to be functional and productive in the game is 1. Now, depending on you, the healer, the other players that you're playing with, and the mechanics of the individual encounter, you may have to make it more than 1, but you only need 1. Why Super Belied, while annoying, does work. First off, Thin Air's cooldown timer has been reduced to 60 seconds, down from 120 seconds, and is now a 2-charge action. So, let's think about that. Thin Air reduces the MP cost of all your spells by 100%. So, essentially, all of your spells for 12 seconds are free. The fact that they're reducing the cooldown and giving you a second charge tells me these initial dungeons are probably going to have some pretty rough healing checks. So, keep that in mind. At level 82, Glare evolves into Glare 3. That's right, you get more Glare. And Holy evolves into Holy 3, which means slight potency boosts for both spells. At level 85, you get Enhanced Healing Magic as a trait. Now, at level 84, you got Melee Mastery with the tanks, so it increased the potency of their attacks, their basic threat combos. Now, Enhanced Healing Magic as a trait, which boosts potency for all core spells, so all Cures, Regions, Medica, Afflatus Solace, and Afflatus Rapture. At level 86, you get Aqua Veil, which is a spell on a 60-second cooldown that reduces damage taken by 15% for 8 seconds on you or a party member. Very similar to the tank's mitigation, where for the Paladin you get Knight's, I believe it's Knight's Benediction. It adds a 15% damage reduction. It can be used on you or another party member. So you can have these things stacked. So it seems like there may be some interesting stack mechanics that are going to be happening. And finally, you get Divine Benison, gets 2 charges at level 88. Now, I love Divine Benison. When I was a worse White Mage, I ignored that spell, and then I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yes! Give me, and the fact that I'm going to get 2 charges? Yes! Now, as for White Mage's big addition, you get Lilybell at level 90. It's a spell on a 180-second cooldown that lets you designate an area for healing and grant you 5 stacks of Lilybell. Whenever you're hit, so whenever the White Mage is hit, 1 stack of Lilybell is expended and sets off a 400 potency heal to anyone around you. Now, here's the thing about around you, and I will look down low and see if it gives you a specific range, but I'm going to assume it's around 5 to 10 yalms. So, not someone all the way over on the other side of the map, but, you know, fairly close. Stacks will only expend from hits once per second at the fastest. Okay, so that's good to say there, so you can't burn them all at one thing. The overall effect lasts for 15 seconds, and any remaining Lilybell stacks will dispel and heal for 200 potency. Now, something I'd like to know is... Oh, yes, there it is. It says down there, so we have that answered. So Lilybell seems like an interesting idea. Kind of almost like a ley line ability Luckily, you as a White Mage don't have to stand in it. It would be cool if, while you're standing in the Lilybell area, if you actually got to have, let's say, if you got extra healing while standing in it. But the fact that you can throw it anywhere, usually with probably a ground reticule, is that you can throw it at the tanks. You can throw it at the melee DPS, especially if it's a boss that's just going to do random damage or have things spikes out. You can just, I'll just drop that there, throw Asylum up. We're good. Now, the new White Mage changes action and traits. As we see, Thin Air. Next spell. This is next spell cast without MP cost. Okay, so duration 12 seconds. Maximum charges 2. That's a free. That's a slight. Looks like it's a slight rework, or maybe I was mistaken in the beginning. It's possible. I don't play the White Mage all that often, and when I do, I usually just do it for dungeons, and so nothing super serious. We then have Glare 3. Deals unaspected damage with a potency of 310. Holy 3. Deals unexpected damage with potency of 150 to all nearby enemies, and keeps that crucial stun effect. Aqua Veil reduces damage taken by a party member or self by 15%. The duration is, of course, 8 seconds. Lilybell, here it is, places a Healing Blossom as a designated location and grants 5 stacks of Lilybell to self. Taking damage will expend 1 stack of Lilybell to heal self and all party members within a radius of 20 yalms. Hey, that's even farther than I thought it would be. And the cure potency is 400. This action can only be triggered once per second. The Healing Blossom dissipates when all stacks are expended or the effect expires. Any remaining stacks of Lilybell when the effect expires will trigger an additional healing effect, 200 for every remaining stack of Lilybell. Now, that's good. So let's say, hypothetically, you throw Lilybell and you decide to dodge a bunch of stuff. You can time it to where there's a big hit going off, or maybe something. Maybe you can do a recovery and end up with 1,000 cure potency if everybody decides to, like, hey, group up real quick. Boom, 1,000 cure potency. Then you, of course, have Glare Mastery at level 82, which upgrades Glare to Glare 3. Holy Mastery at level 82, which upgrades Holy to Holy 3. Your Enhanced Healing Magic, as we went over, increases the healing potency of Cure to 500, Medica to 400, Cure 2 to 800, Regen to 250, Cure 3 to 600, Medica 2 to 250, and Medica 2's Regen effect to 150. Affluatus Solace to 800, and Affluatus Rapture to 400 at level 85. And then, of course, Enhanced Divine Benison is 2 charges at level 88. So that's the White Mage, essentially. Iconic healing class, still going to do a lot of damage, still going to provide a lot of utility, still going to be something that you want. Now, how will it stack up against a Sage? Well, we'll have to do a Sage video later, and we will absolutely do a Sage video. But I'm interested in seeing how else the healing changes are going to go. So here's the thing. Here's the question. If you guys actually decide to heal in Endwalker, and believe me, early game Endwalker, people are going to want healers for fast queues. They're trying to level. They're trying to level their alts. They're trying to level their other classes. They're trying to level everything. So they're going to want healers. So are you going to go White Mage? You thinking Scholar? Astrologian? Or is everybody, like I think, probably going to roll Sage? Because honestly, Sage looks really, really cool. That being said, guys, my name was Nim. And if you enjoyed this, why not click subscribe and hit that notification bell? I try to create a lot of Final Fantasy XIV content and other MMO stuff in general. It's my favorite genre, and I'd like to think I do the genre justice. In addition, if you'd like to, you can connect with me in my Discord. There's a link below in the description. You can also follow me on Twitter or tag me on Twitter. It's @Nimicry. That's Nimicry. And honestly, thanks for hanging out with me on this video. I hope you had a good time, and I look forward to informing you and entertaining you with more Final Fantasy XIV content. Take care, and may you get the mount that you're farming.